here learning the distance formula and the equation of a circle. It's section 13.1.
Oh, we're in a whole new section?
Whole new chapter.
Okay, clean slate.
Clean slate, new beginning. The distance formula stems from the Pythagorean theorem. Whenever okay, let's say this is my x and y axis. This is the origin where the point is
0, 0.
0, 0. Let's just assume this is 10, 0. And this is
0, 10.
0.
Say
No, we're going to say 15.
20.
All right. I am operating on the assumption that we already have an understanding of the XY axis
Yes, ma'am.
and plotting points.
Yes, ma'am.
This is called an ordered pair. The first one is your x coordinate, the second one is your y coordinate. What we are going to learn today is an equation that gives us the distance between 2 points that are not vertically or horizontally in line with each other.
The diagonal.
So we're going to be looking for the physical distance of this line.
Diagonal.
Well, whenever I draw these 3 points, they create the vertices of a
Triangle.
right triangle, and the distance here is what part of the right triangle?
Hypotenuse.
The hypotenuse. Okay? Now, I can figure out right now the distance from 0, 15 to 0, 0.
15.
It's 15 units because it's just straight up, okay? So this has a length of 15. This has a length of what?
10.
10. All right, well, we've been doing triangles, and we've applied the Pythagorean theorem in order to find this hypotenuse. So let's talk about that Pythagorean theorem.
17.
It states that c squared, which would be the hypotenuse, is equal to a squared plus b squared. Okay? We can assume that this leg is a and this leg is b. Now, if all I wanted to figure out was c from this point without plugging numbers in, and I wanted to take this equation and manipulate it in some form or fashion to where all I had was c equals, what do I have to do to both sides of the equation?
Plug in the numbers and get rid of them.
Okay. For all of you watching online, did I not just say, without plugging in numbers,
Want to catch an attitude?
Let's go.
I caught it.
I'm about to throw it.
All right. What do I have to do to this equation right here? Nothing else. These 3 letters, these 3 exponents, this equal sign, in order to get c by itself. Not c squared.
Squared.
Take the square root of both sides. This is basically how we find the hypotenuse of a right triangle. This is the basis of our distance formula. Okay? Now, let's go back to A. We found the length of this side by looking at what?
The points. The graph.
Basically, I moved along the x-axis, right? So I looked for the change that occurred between the x's. Well, what's a way or an operation, addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division, that will tell me the change in something?
Addition.
Subtraction.
Wait.
Subtraction.
What is that?
I said addition too, though.
Yeah, but he wasn't trying to be funny.
That was awesome. The change in the x's is what tells me the distance of this. So if we're going to subtract, and that gives us a, then the value of a is the difference in the 2 x coordinates. And a is squared. How did I find the length of this? The change in what? What axis goes this way?
Why?
Y. The change in y is what I looked at. Well, if y was 15 here and 0 here, then I subtracted, correct?
Yeah.
So,
And you put
B,
squared because A is squared, right?
I'm putting squared because a is squared. I'm putting squared here because b
Oh,
is
so you
squared.
just gotta get it to 0?
No. That is the equation, or that, excuse me, is the distance formula. When you don't have all the vertices of a right triangle, but you do have simply 2 points anywhere. If I drew a point here and here, I could find the distance between them by plugging the x and y coordinates into this formula. If I had points here and here, I could find the distance between those 2 points if I know their x and y coordinates. Yes?
By that you mean x of 10 and x of 0?
This is x, this is y. This is x, this
No,
is y.
but in the equation, the two x's stand for the 10? Cause that wouldn't make sense. Oh, okay.
Okay? Alright?
What?
Okay.
So don't it need to be level like
Level,
1 and
level.
2?
No. Alright, let's apply this formula. Okay, let's see how we're going to actually be using this in this section. Okay, so all the stuff up to this was really unnecessary. It was simply to show you, well, it was necessary, but that's not what you have to memorize. I was trying to show you where this formula originates from and why it works the way it works. Alright? Okay. Now, suppose I asked you to find for me the distance between these 2 points, point A and point B. If point A has the coordinates of -1, 4, and point B has coordinates of 2, -6. We can find the distance between those points without ever having to plot anything on a graph.
Well, 4 minus -1 would be
Our formula is the difference between our x's squared plus the difference between our y's squared, and then we take the square root of the whole thing. I've got a -1 minus 2,
fine.
and I've got 4 minus an already -6. Well, what happens when you subtract a negative?
Added.
It adds.
It becomes addition.
Addition.
-3 squared plus.
-1 minus 2 is -3, squared is 9. 4 plus 6 is 10, squared is 100. So the distance between those 2 points is the square root of 109.
Can we just leave it as?
Now,
Oh, it's always square.
if you have a radical, you need to make sure your radical is reduced. But 109 is a prime number, so it's reduced.
Oh, prime numbers, you don't have the radical.
They don't-
And you
No, no,
leave
no.
it as a radical. I do not want a decimal, because a decimal will be a rounded answer. I want an exact answer, and that is the exact answer.
How'd you know that was a prime number?
Because I quickly, in my head, it doesn't end in 5, so it's not divisible by 5. It's not even, so it's not divisible by 2. The sum of its digits is not divisible by 3, so it's not divisible by 3,
Or 6.
or 6,
Or 9.
or 9.
100.
8 doesn't go into anything that ends in 9.
I think we get it.
You see what I'm saying?
Or 10.
I didn't know that.
Alright, we're done.
Or 2,
Alright.
or 5, or.
See, I just learned a bunch of secrets that I didn't know before.
That's some secrets that
Let's go to the room.
Of the math.
my younger ones are learning right now, so they're being re-taught to me. It's been a while. Okay,
What's the secret in the cards?
I want y'all to find the distance between points A and B. If point A has the coordinates 0, -10, and point B has the coordinates 10, 0.
0.
Is this what we're learning? Or-
No, we're gonna do the circle, the equation of a circle also.
I think I got it. You got it, Lex?
Now, I had someone in second hour ask me, does it matter what order I subtract the x's and the y's in? And the answer is no. Because if I subtracted 0 minus 10, I'm gonna get -10, but if I subtract 10 minus 0, I get +10.
Then 0
It
minus.
It doesn't matter though, because you're gonna
You
square it.
yeah.
And once you square it, it's positive anyway.
Radical